So, welcome everybody. Welcome to another episode with and with podcast live. My name is Tony, and we have very special guest today.
What's up, guys? I'm Joshua, also known as the Mexican Magician.
I am very happy you are here because you are big dog on Twitter. Yeah, very big.
Thank you.
So let's dive into this. So my first question is for those who don't know you yet, who is Mexican magician?
Okay, so I come from a little bit of a hard past, you know. Um, I didn't really have too much of a father figure around, growing up. So I kind of had to rely on what I had around me at the time, which wasn't the best influence. Luckily, I grew up and I became an adult, and I was able to make my own decisions and take responsibility for my own decisions. I understand that as a child, maybe I didn't have too much responsibility in some of those decisions, but as I grew older, those behaviors, if I continued them, they were definitely my responsibility. So I learned to earn an honest living. I learned to work with my hands. I became a plumber. I was just a helper digging trenches. Then I became a lead. Now I'm a sales technician at work. I'm the head sales technician at work. So yeah, I'm just here to like show positivity, show gentlemen, the young men out there that they can still work with their hands, earn a living with their hands, learn a trade, help build the country, and take that money and invest it in something that I find value in, intrinsic value, which is Bitcoin for me.
And we
Yeah.
were
And
going
that's my
to.
message.
That's very nice, and I think you are true role model for so much people.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. You too, bro.
I thank you. So my next question is: where did your journey begin in your life and in crypto?
Okay. So, I mean, I grew up kind of with my mom and my brother, in a kind of single family home, my dad was kind of in and out, so I didn't really have a lot of financial education, I would say. So I would say that was my first insight into crypto, or I wouldn't say crypto, Bitcoin. I would say that this is a huge difference for me, but we can get into that later. But yeah, so basically, I didn't really have a whole lot of financial information, so I knew that there was definitely a devaluation of the dollar. Like I knew that the everything was a lot more expensive, but I didn't understand. I thought prices were just going up. I didn't understand that the value of the dollar was dropping, and that everything everyone was working for was being robbed from them overnight. So I had to do some information seeking. I didn't really have any kind of and I didn't have necessarily too many role models to look at, like education wise, to kind of teach me anything about Bitcoin. So sorry about that. So I was able to do some studying, and I found Bitcoin, and yeah, man, it's been quite a journey, but I realized that everything in Bitcoin, right? The prices always drop. It always costs less and less and less Bitcoin to purchase things. Does that make sense? But it costs
Yes.
more and more money to purchase things every year.
Mhm.
So I thought, why don't I take my money that I'm earning? Because at first I wasn't earning much, brother. I wasn't earning much. The first couple of years in the trade, you don't make a whole lot of money. You're not able to put a whole lot to the side. So I put what I could. But eventually, as you start to, you get a little bit more of a paycheck, start to earn some commission on the emergency calls. I started to put more and more away, So it's kind of like if I let you borrow $100, let's say I let you borrow $100, right? And you pay me back, and you don't. I hope that you pay me back. I was kind of hoping Bitcoin would work, and then once you pay me back, I have faith that you're going to pay me back. So once I started to see my savings go up in value, um, I started to have a little bit more faith in the system. I got to see it, and I understood that every 4 years, every 5 years, whatever it may be, that I was going to be able to increase my overall net worth if I was able to invest into Bitcoin.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Think every year is more pricey and pricey. So you find a way, and it's absolutely fantastic.
Thank you, brother. Yes, I found a way. I found a way to kind of monetize my trade. I kind of learned how to speak a little bit better. I had to speak to people a little bit older than me, more educated than me, really reach out because when you don't have the resources, you have to find the resources. You can't just sit there and sit on your hands or you're not going to get anywhere in life. So I started to reach out to people. I got uncomfortable. You have to get uncomfortable. Everything you want is just outside your comfort zone. So that's
That's
what
true.
I did. I got uncomfortable. Yes, sir. I got uncomfortable. I started messaging some people. I met Mark. I met Nick. I met people that know what they're talking about, you know? And yeah, I have some people in the Bitcoin army too that I'm part of. And yeah, when I have questions, I ask and I get answers. It's quite a magnificent thing.
Yeah, I think this is the idea. You need to have people to know who you can trust and who can have
Yes, yes. There's also people that I like my friends because my friends will tell me, "Hey, I don't know, but I'm gonna go get the answer for you." So maybe they don't know, but they'll go ask their friend who knows their friend and they'll get the
that's
answer
true.
and then they'll get some proof and they'll come back and they'll give me the information and I can take what I need and leave what I don't, you know?
That's true. The team is very important.
Yeah,
So
sure.
I have the most best question right now.
Okay, that's it.
How did you come with the name Mexican Magician?
Okay. So my boss at work, there was a situation where there was a pipe collapsing, right? And it was in a really deep hole. It was about 9 feet in the ground. And I had to dig and dig and dig. And I was brand new to the company, so I was willing to do anything. And yeah, I went in there and I connected a pipe. All you could see was my feet sticking out of the hole. And I connected the pipe. And yeah, my dad pulled me out. And my boss was just like, Mexican magic, bro. You're the Mexican magician. And that's where it started, that's where it started. I started doing things at work that other people weren't willing to do. Not the safest stuff. I don't recommend it necessarily, but I'm very solution based, brother. That's mostly what it is, like I don't just say I can't do it. I find a way, so when he gives me a task, I make sure that I get that accomplished.
Bro, I was thinking you are from Mexico. You are,
Yeah, so
you are from
my
Mexico.
parents Yeah, I'm very Mexican. I was born in the United States, so I'm very American. But my parents are both from Mexico, and in Los Angeles, there's a huge Hispanic Chicano culture, so it's very big here. Like we're all American, but it's like everybody is from. It's a melting pot, so there's people from all over, and everybody is also proud of their heritage. But I'm American first.
That's nice. That's nice. I think it's very important to have this culture and doesn't forget where you come from.
Yeah, man. Exactly, bro. It's very humble beginnings. My mom came from a small village in Mexico. They didn't have running water. My dad comes from Mexico City. They came over. They became legal. Like, I was born here. I'm a tradesman. So I work with my hands, but I'm working on my financial literacy. I'm learning everything I can educationally for my family financially, so that my son he can also be maybe in the trades. I mean, he'll have his own decisions to make, but he'll also have the business and the financial aspect and he'll be ready to invest any kind of money that he does earn, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, that's makes absolutely best sense. So you join X in June.
Okay, yeah, 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 around then.
What inspires you to start building your presence?
I didn't think anybody really cared. I was like, I'm just some Mexican guy with a shovel digging. And people just started commenting and being like, "Dude, this is super dope," and like, I mean, I've been on other platforms like Instagram and Facebook. I don't have them anymore, but I used to have all that, and all I see on Instagram is like, people glorifying, scamming or drug dealing or whatever, showing a bunch of money. This is how cheating people. I just wanted to show people that you didn't have to do that. It doesn't have to be the easy way out. It can be extremely difficult and extremely hard, but also extremely rewarding. I wanted to say like, hey, you can earn a job and you might have to eat crap for 2 years, but after those 2 years, you're gonna start earning a paycheck that you're happy about when you take home. And if you learn what to do with that paycheck, you're gonna become unstoppable.
Think I think you are the most awesome man on X.
Oh
Really,
man, thank you, man.
really, because your story, your motivation, And you are very different because everybody preach like don't work, just do business, business, business. But you say other things. Bro is
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's nice, like there are people that are able to just, get on the phone and make all this money and yada, yada, yada. I don't have to work. My hands are nice. I have lotion on my hands, and that's great. And that's cool. And if that's for you, amazing. But I'm just saying there is an alternative, because I have dyslexia. So, like, growing up, I couldn't really read. I know how
me
to read
too.
now, right?
Me
Yeah,
too.
yeah. So I couldn't, yeah. Yeah, so I couldn't really read, so I didn't really go down that path, I didn't go down the path of reading a bunch of books and being like a bookworm and making money that way, like banking or anything like that. So I went the other way, and unfortunately, that wasn't positive. So what I'm trying to say is, if you're not the most book study guy, you could still earn a living and you could still make money with investments. Yeah,
I think like sometimes like I don't want to do some things, but I looking at you in your profile and what you do, bro, and my fire is back because like you are really example that if you want it, you can get it.
you have to do it. Yeah, that's exactly it. There's all those little things that I don't want to do. I wake up every day. I don't want to shave every day. I don't want to get up and do my push-ups every day. I don't want to do all these things every day, but I have to do it because that's what's necessary for me to succeed. And I know what it's like to fail. I know what's necessary to fail. Trust me, I know that. I could fail all by myself. So I want to make sure that if I'm in a group of men like I am, we're an NMO and we're trying to make things happen, like I want to make sure that I bring value. I want to be a valuable member of that society and self-sufficient. I don't want to be taking from other members. I want it to be like a flowing thing. I want it to flow between everybody and us to make a bunch of money.
That's true. That is amazing. So I have a question about faith and values, because I think
Okay.
this is going to be very interesting. You wrote Christ is King. How does faith influence your mindset?
Okay. So basically, I'm Christian and I don't try to push that on anybody. I'm very cautious. It's a very touchy subject for a whole lot of people, and I don't want to dilute the message that I'm trying to bring by scaring anybody off. So I am proud of it. So I do post it on my profile. If someone's willing to talk about their faith, not even necessarily religion, just the relationship they have with their higher power, whatever that might be, or whatever they decide to call that. I have friends, best friends that are pagans. You know what I mean? Like, I don't let that kind of stuff I don't let that kind of stuff get in the way. Like, and that's my brother. So like, I just want to say like, as far as religion, I do check my motives. It helps me to check my motives. I do routine prayers with like my son at night in the morning, make sure that he hears praying so that he can follow by example and not just what I say. I'm not perfect at all. I'm a man too. I fail all the time. I don't pretend to be holier than thou or anything like that. But I always try to make sure that I'm trying to be better than I was yesterday. And I think that's with my kind of religious belief is that I'm trying to reach a higher state of self. I'm trying to be a better person, a better Josh. Not even a better than you or better than anybody else, just a better Josh. And as long as I'm better than the Josh was yesterday, I'm able to help somebody, and I'm happy. That's pretty much my religious beliefs, spiritual beliefs.
Wow, wow, this was best answer. Answer, brother. Truly. So, how do you keep your faith strong in the industry that often focus on money and ego?
I lower my time preference, and what that means is I zoom out. So basically, there's been a lot of bad things that happen in people's lives. Let's say for instance, my life, like I was homeless at one point. There was times when I thought there was no hope. And that's because my time preference was so high. I was thinking about like what was happening right in front of me, and it's like the price of Bitcoin, like just again, like the stuff like that. Or I don't think about that because it's for my son. So like how I stay strong is I realize that there's such a bigger part to life than what's in front of me at the moment. That I just have to do what's in front of me at the moment. The next best thing, the next right thing. And as long as I can accomplish that, I know that in my faith, I know God will take care of the rest. So like I do the footwork, and God takes care of the results. And that's how I keep my faith. Didn't take me this far just to take me this far. He has a plan for me, in my opinion.
That's true. That's true. But sometimes it's very hard to see God plan. Sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. Very hard,
It's very
bro. Very hard. Yeah. And then there's other times when it's impossible to deny. You're like, wow, this is so cool. This is so special. So you just have to balance that out. And when you're young, bro, it's hard. You don't see it. And then when you start to get older and you start to get through some really tough times, and you start to provide for yourself and you start to do well for yourself, then you start to see like, wow, like this is what I was put on earth to do, to be a man and to provide and to make things happen for my family.
wow. Yeah, that's so cool. Really, that's so cool. So cool. So, what does the phrase dirty hands, clean money means to you personally?
Man, I love this question. So, me personally, what it means is, like when you're in the streets and you're doing crime and you're doing, anything illegal, your money's dirty, but your hands are necessarily clean. You don't have to work for it. You just sit there, sold drugs all day, stole cars all day, whatever you did all day. So, my whole motto is dirty hands. I work with my hands. I'm digging, I'm under houses, I'm cutting pipes out, but my money's clean. At least I earned it. Like no one's going to take that from me. You can make all this money in the streets, but it's the devil's money. It gets taken real fast, gets spent real fast. The cops, they come, they take it. No one's ever really able to hold on to it. So this is, I'm saying dirty hands, but clean money, and you get to keep that money and invest it in something for a brighter future for yourself and your family.
That's that's that is that is good. I don't know.
Yeah, brother.
This is really
Take some.
as inspiring and this is good. The question. Is there a Bible reverse or a teaching that guides your everyday action?
Man, there is. Let me get it out for you. I should know this by heart. It's Proverbs 13:22. And it says that a good person leaves an inheritance for their grandchildren, and the wealth of the wicked is saved for the righteous. So basically, if you do bad in earth, and even if you gain riches, eventually it's all going to go to who does well. And it's my responsibility to prepare my family for the future. I don't want my grandkids. First of all, like I didn't know my grandpa on my dad's side. My son won't know his grandpa, unfortunately, because of my father. So I want to be the first grandpa there. I want to be the first grandpa to stick around on the male side and be able to teach the grandkids, the future generations and to teach my son. And so it's all about preparing for the future and preparing for the storms in life.
That's absolutely true.
Yes, sir.
Really. It's like you have absolutely true because I am going to back like we don't know what we got is work for us. So like bro, for me, 1 year ago I was lost. I was totally I'm not gonna swear, but I was really bad position. And right now I do
Yes,
do
sir.
podcasting. Right now I have you. Right now I have like team. So God is great. God is really great. Really,
Yeah.
God is
God
great.
has big plans.
Yeah.
We can't even imagine it.
Thing.
Like our plans are so small.
Yeah. And like I like the God is the best. God is only like in these topics we can be for hours. But we have to
I
move on.
agree.
So
Yes, sir.
right now I want to ask you mindset and personal growth. What does mindset mastery mean in your philosophy?
Well, mindset mastery, man, this is something that I think that I just got out of repetition. Sorry, repetition, doing it over and over and over and over again. Just getting up for work at 5 in the morning, just that doesn't matter if I'm sick, if I'm tired, if my back hurts, if my knees hurt. I go to work, I drink my coffee, I lace my boots up and I make it work. I think that alone has made it possible for me to get through a lot of hard things in life. Because it's not a lot harder than just getting up every day and having to go work manual labor when you don't feel like it. So just doing things that I don't feel like doing, you know, that's part of being a man is doing things that you don't feel like doing and doing things because they need to get done, you know, and no one else is going to do it. No one's going to come up and clean up behind me. No one's going to come up, pay my bills. No one's going to take care of me. You know, it's okay to accept help from people. It's okay. I remember being so broke that I had to borrow money just to make the bills and to make it to the next month, you know? And I've been able to provide for myself now where that's not the case, you know? So I'm very proud of myself and every man can get there. Every man can be fully self-sufficient through his own means, you know? We just have to we have to find the way. You know, we have to find the way. We have to teach each other, you know, and show each other.
And I think find a way and don't be scared. Don't be
Don't be
scared.
scared. And even if you are scared, you still have to do it. You know what I mean? You still have to do it.
My study. Mindset and yeah. But I think like sometimes what we do, what we we need to do what we need to do and do what it is.
Always.
Sometimes we need to be selfish because we have only one life and we don't get twice here.
Exactly. And you know, you could have a sorry about that. You could have bad beginning of your life. You know, you could have a bad childhood, you could be bad 20s, you could have bad 30s. But if you decide to make that decision and turn it around, you could really do it. You could turn it around and make it happen for yourself.
I think long as you are breathing, long as you are here, it's never too late to start over again and start better.
Exactly. It's never too late.
It's never too late. So, have you always had this disciplined mindset or was it built over time?
Oh, bro, I was not disciplined at all. I was horrible. I was lazy. I had no direction. I was lost in life. I was just see, my mom, she did the best she could, you know. But, she was always telling me, "Just be happy, mijo, try to be happy." So, that's what I did, I chased happiness, and I found that in the wrong things, brother, you know? Found that in drugs, I found that in women, I found that in the wrong situation, you know, because I was just trying to chase happiness, not I wasn't trying to chase any kind of legacy, I wasn't trying to chase any kind of purpose, you know, and, I was just, you know, that's a good information. That's the best information that she could have passed down to me, just trying to make sure I was happy, you know? She didn't know how to be a man. She's my mom, you know? She didn't know how to be a man. So, like, she was just trying to give me the best information she could. So chasing happiness, I would say, led me down the wrong path in a way, and now that I found purpose, I'm happy, which is crazy.
I think
Yeah.
your mom is proud of you. True.
Bro, I talk to her every day. I just texted her this morning and she's so happy. I told her I'm gonna get my menudo, I'm gonna eat. She's like, I'm just so happy how you are with your family, how everything worked out for you and your job, your career. Like I'm able to help her whenever she needs any help. She's always bragging about me to her friends. Like, it's a good feeling, you know, because it wasn't like that. I mean, there were years I didn't talk to her for years. I was doing my own thing and I robbed that time from my mom, you know, and I'm trying to pay her back for that now.
Yeah, yeah. So, what daily habits or routines help you stay focused and grounded?
So in the morning, I pray and thank God for everything that I have around me in my life and the capabilities that He has given me. And then if I and at night, I pray in gratitude, you know? And I think those 2 prayers in the morning and the prayer at night really keep me grounded and checked in my goal. Because it gets easy to just let the days run into each other and you forget why you're doing so well. You know, it's like you're doing so bad in life and you're sitting there and you pray, "God, please help me, help me, help me, God." And then God helps you and then you pat yourself on the back like, "Good job, Josh," you know? Like, it's crazy, you know? It's like you forget who helped you and then so it's like I think just staying grounded and remembering that it's not all me, you know, like, yes, I'm doing the footwork, you know, but there's also accountability for what I believe helped me. You know?
Yeah, I think it's like very people need to understand that like God help you, but you need to help yourself.
God loves those who help themselves. You know, you got to
Yeah,
put in the footwork. You can't
yeah.
just sit there and pray and pray and pray and hope that everything's going to work out. You got to make it happen. And then hopefully God's on your side, you know? Yeah, but, yeah, also the push-ups help too, man. Like, I really like doing my push-ups. I feel, like, really good in shape. I do them every day, you know, I send them to my friends. Sometimes I send them, sometimes I don't, but I do them every day. I do film them every day. And yeah, man, I'm, proud of myself for that too. That really helps. That keeps me healthy.
What is the biggest lesson you learn from failure?
The biggest lesson I learned from failure is that whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. It's all in what you think. It's all in what you think. If you don't think you can, you definitely will. When I go in there to sell a job and they need the work and my boss says, "Okay, sell that for 25 grand." I'm like, "Dude, I can't. I'm not going to say that to these people, but I'll never get that sticker price if I don't ask for it." Do you get what I'm saying? Closed mouths don't get fed. You have to ask for it. You have to go out and do it, you know? And yeah, so whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. You know, it's all in the mindset. It's a lot about its confidence.
Last question is, how do you motivate people who have lost direction or confidence?
Man, that's a good one. You know, normally people will come up to me and ask me, you know, they'll be like, "Hey man, I can't get into my push-ups. I'm just not in shape. I can't do 100 push-ups." So I'll tell them, "Okay, let's do 5. I'll do 5 with you. You do 5 with me. I'll film it and I'll send it to you." I have a buddy that I personally did that with, you know, and that's how I'm able to motivate everybody by being an example or by being a man of action, you know, because a lot of people teach me more things with their actions than with their words. So I try to teach others more with my actions and my words.
I have one last question. I
You're good, brother.
and the question is, what legacy do you want to leave behind for your family and your brothers?
Man, so I'm gonna leave a stack of Bitcoin behind for my son. You know, I'm gonna leave as much Bitcoin every day I leave. I kiss him. I tell him, I'm gonna go get as much Bitcoin as I can for us because I believe it's the hardest asset on earth. I believe there's no second best, and I believe that it's going up and up and up. And I believe that he's going to be able to benefit from that. You know, now whatever he wants to do with that Bitcoin later, I'm going to encourage him not to sell it. You know, I'm going to encourage him to either borrow against it or whatever financial tools we can use to leverage it for his financial gain. But yeah, and then the plan is for him to stack to it and then pass it to his son. You know, and if I have more sons, then to split it up between them and to have a big stack that everybody can leverage, you know, to use if they want to start a family business or they want to start a cash flow business or anything like that, then they're going to be able to do that with what I leave behind.
And for your brothers?
And for my brothers, man, I'm going to leave behind my sons, you know, and my network, you know, everything that I've created for for you guys, you know what I mean? I'm kind of behind the scenes, bro. I don't really talk too much about certain things, but I'm always willing to help, you know. Anything they need, I'm always willing to make sure that they get it.
And that's why I respect you and I love you so much for that.
I love you too, dog. I got you.
Truly, truly, it's wow. So this episode was good. So thank you everybody who listening. Please share, comment, like, and if you want part two, because I know you want part two because this is so good. So
Let me know.
text, let us know, and this was Tony from Next Move Only, and
The Mexican magician, bro. I'm right here. Dirty hands, clean money.
yes. So thank you guys for watching, and see you soon. Bye, guys.